Okay, according to StreamYard, I'm live. But sometimes they lie. And so, today is like almost 2 weeks left to NaNoWriMo. And I think I finally figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite Welcome to Whoever is Here. I am going to rewrite last July camp's novel. I need to change the story up. I need to take out a lot of POV characters. So I don't outline. I'm a pantser. Hello to the second person that I see here. I have taken and kind of started breaking apart the old one, because I'm not going to use the old one, but I want to use parts of it, and I want to follow along kind of the story. And so I need to split. Sometimes I get tongue twisted. I need to split. Hi, YS. Nice to see you. It's been a while. I need to split the story. Right now I have a husband and wife main character, both with point of view. And so, welcome to whoever else has joined us. Hi, Laura. Feeling homesick for Disney? You know, it's funny. I'm not a big Disney person. Really? Just never got into it myself. But I'm slowly, as slow as my computer will allow me, trying to break the story apart into some semblance of a story without too many points of view, which I think is really hard to take away ones you've already written. If I hadn't written them in the first place, it wouldn't be quite as difficult. So, welcome to everyone who has shown up. I had forgotten there were, there's so many sprints nowadays. It's hard finding the time when nobody else is sprinting. So, I've got my computer pretty reset from last night. I had a reboot, but I think it's not too bad right now. So I have a plan. I'm pretty sure what I'm going to do. Not sure I'm going to work on it tonight because I have a blog that's been very, very sadly left on its own to slowly wither and die. So I know I have some things to write, and I hope that you guys have something to do. I usually don't like to go less than 15 minutes, preferably 20 or more. But you guys, there's two of you at least. I know there's somebody else here. There's two of you at least who can make a decision, or anyone who wants to chime in. But I really don't like to do less than 15, because 10, I just feel like I've got my computer starting to move and have to stop. But how many minutes? And this would be the first sprint of the night. I actually made it to the end of yours, Laura, last time. I wasn't sure I was going to make it, but I did. Hi, Devin. You made it this time. I tried to catch it. I saw you come through, but it was already ending the broadcast. There wasn't anything I could do. Wouldn't let me. So I know Devin would like to do 125 minutes or some such thing. And we aren't doing 125 minutes. I may be crazy, but I'm not that crazy. Well, 75 minutes is a little closer, but still, that's a long time. Anybody else have any ideas? I'd hate to have to take 75 just because it was the only only one out there. Because that's a long time. 75 minutes. That's over an hour. Did you actually write that long, Devin, without stopping for a break? I mean, really now. I know I can't. Oh, you guys, you're not going to make me have to do 75 minutes, are you? Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm going to share a screen. Looks like 75. No, we're not doing 75 minutes. I'm sorry. I will do 30 minutes. You're not doing 75. Come on. All right. I'm going to 30. We'll start. Hopefully I didn't forget something this time. Okay. We have 30 minutes, almost, minus a few seconds. And this is our first sprint. I usually forget the banners. Of course, sometimes it doesn't want to give me the banners. Oh, there's the banners. Okay. Is that the first sprint? First sprint. There we go. First sprint. Okay. All right. So you guys, first sprint is going. One of these days, I'm going to get up the courage and have a co-host. I'm having a hard time with that. I am so afraid to ask someone. I've been asking Charlie, and he's been trying, but I know he's super busy. And the one week he said, yes, we can do it, I'd go in the hospital. I'm like, this is not to be. So I don't know. I may just have to let it go and try somebody else as a co-host. But I'm not like feeling comfortable with it. I don't mind being a co-host, but being the host with a co-host, a little bit more difficult. So I don't know what I'll do. That's my time. You know, when my time was my own, I could make schedules. And now I have an aide who has to help me with things. I never know when the girl's coming. It's hard to do anything right now. Charlie is on Heather's stream right now. Ow. I know he likes Heather's stream. He's talked about her quite a bit. I don't really know her. Like, I lost 6 weeks in the hospital. I don't know a lot of people Charlie knows now. At one time, I was one of the top ones in the group and always around. And then, phew, you know, things happen. So, okay. So, Devin, you've got 27 minutes. I know it's not 75, but if you're, unless you're hopping, of course, and then you have as much time as you want to hop around. I am going to, I just don't know what I want to do. I need to do something with this blog. I've really let it go. But I got to get over my fright and get somebody as a co-host. I mean, I got over my fright and was actually a co-host on the write-a-thon, which surprised to me. Of course, starting the stream surprised me too. So I guess nothing should surprise me anymore. You do what you want to do. Put your mind to it. Okay. Well, you guys, I'll be here. I'll try to keep looking over to see if there's anything I need to attend to. I'm going to try and do something on my blog because I got to get it back whipped into shape. And the NaNoWriMo's coming, and then I'll be concentrating on that. So, I'm going to be real productive right now since nothing is moving on this computer. I don't know what I think I was doing. The sea doesn't want to do anything. I want to throw it out the window. Wow, I got the title in. Woo! Hi, Megan. If you're still here, there are so many streams going on right now. It isn't funny. Devin's hopping back and forth. I just hopped in to see what was going on over there. And while I was looking for Heather's, I found 3 or 4 more. And of course, Laura writes, and Kevin, the writer, have a lot of people. And Sarah Sutton has a lot of people. It's like everybody's writing right now. It's hard to find people to write. You watching 3, Megan? I have enough trouble with 2. It's hard. I mean, to look for empty time now, unless it's in the middle of the night, and you still got a lot of people that are actually streaming in the middle of the night. I mean, it may not be in the middle of the night where they're at. I have no idea. I know it is here. Right now, it's not. Of course, it's only 8:35. But I was just looking, and there are lots of streams going on. I got 1 post on my blog done, which is an accomplishment. It's more than I had beforehand. This is going to go off. So, over to the timer. Okay. Did anybody get anything done? I know Devin's jumping back and forth. I just jumped over there, saw my name bump on the thing. Someone's, because I said hello. I see it's up there now. uh, I am so frustrated with my computer. It isn't funny. This thing, you never know if it's going to act up. Like the other night when it kept kicking me off every couple of minutes. You haven't got anything done. Megan says I'm working on reading a book. Right now, I'm so frustrated, I might as well read a book because writing one is not working. Maybe I ought to try reading one. Really frustrating. I mean, I kind of know the way I want to go, but I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to finish NaNoWriMo this year. It's an iffy proposition. I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm not feeling it right now, which is part of my problem. I've been really depressed with all this medical stuff, and they just changed my medications for my bipolar because it's been a little out of control. Nothing that anybody on here has seen, I don't believe. I think I've been behaving myself on here, but I had to get my medicine updated, but I don't know if it's going to help or hinder right now. But I haven't felt like eating. The thought of food makes me want to puke. I've lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks, which is a lot. Not that I'm complaining about the weight loss, it's just the fact that I don't have any desire to eat. And I'm losing a pound every day. So, let's see. Megan says, yeah, I started rereading my Camp Nano story and it was bad. Yeah, I understand that. It needs a lot of work. I also understand that. I feel somewhat the same way about Nano. Not sure if I'm ready for it. Okay, well, I'm not the only one feeling that way, obviously. It's, I've been doing this since 2004, Nano. 2004 is my start date, but I could probably count on one hand how many I actually made it all the way through to the end, let alone complete the goal amount. A lot of times my mood is just so bad that I just stop. I just, totally stop. I started rereading. All right, that was the one I just read. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to do about that. I've got one new post up on my blog, which is a success. I mean, considering the way things were, definitely a success. Because it's been so long. I was in the hospital so long. I think back on it. It didn't seem as long at the time, but when I think back on it, 6 weeks is a long time to be in a hospital. Especially not being able to move much around or anything, being pretty much tied to your bed. And no visitors. The one hospital, after your 2 week of quarantine, they could call in and make an outside arrangement to visit, where you sit in the parking lot 6 feet apart with masks on and visit. And then the other hospital, after my negative COVID test, I was allowed one visitor. Hi, Laura. Okay. I wasn't sure if you were still here or not. And I was allowed one visitor. My daughter's like, I don't want to drive all the way up there without my husband, and I can't bring him and make him sit in a car. So it's like, okay, you're allowed to have a visitor. So it's like, they've gotten so picky right now. I was just saying how and Megan we were kind of commiserating about Camp Nano stories and whether or not we really feel ready for NaNoWriMo. I know I don't, and I'm not sure I'm going to make it through. I don't even have the usual excitement waiting for November 1st, because I would start right at midnight, and I was like, yeah. And then, right now, I'm just bummed out and tired. I have to have a sleep study, because obviously the sleep apnea is so bad now I can't stay awake. I don't feel like doing anything, and, it's like, if I had my choice, I'd just stay in bed. Forget getting out of it. Speaking of phone, yeah. Well, it's getting late. I doubt mine will ring now. Good thing I turned it off yesterday. I don't know who it was. I had a phone call out. Oh, yeah, it was my prescription company calls late. It's an automated thing. It wasn't, a real person, but it was late. And I'm like, good thing I turned the sucker off. Well, we did 30 minutes to start, because nobody had said anything. So aside from Devin, who wanted to do 125 minutes, I said, I don't think so. I don't even think I'm doing 75 minutes. I consider 30 minutes. So we did a 30-minute one. I got a little bit done, and I was just looking at how many people are streaming right now, and some of them are the bigger names, and they're drawing most of the people. So I don't expect this one to be super big. Oh, your car. Me too. You know, Megan, my car is 2006. It is a disgusting, rusty, beat up wreck. And man, they just want to give me that warranty. Like, yeah, if you really saw my car, you wouldn't give me a warranty. Oh, you don't even have a car. Well, I have one, and it's in poor shape. Nobody's going to give me a warranty. I have got to do something about glasses. I thought I saw another name up there. It was Laura, but I thought it was somebody else. Okay, Devin's back. There's always multiple streams going on. Yeah, I know. It's very hard. People are jumping all over. I've got mine running, and I've got Heather's running, and I can't really follow too many. I'm not very good at doing that. But I forgot tonight is a big night, and with Sarah Sutton and Kevin writes, and Kevin the writer and Laura writes, they take a large portion of the people that are looking for right now that are looking for streams. I'm gonna keep forgetting that, but I still schedule one for Thursday night. I'm like, what are you doing? They keep forgetting it. I mean, I'm glad you guys stopped by. I really appreciate it. And, I'll take anything I can get. I just looked at my account, and I need about 11, I think it's 11 more people to hit that famous 100. I'm not too far away. Now, I don't know Cayenne. I tell you, I don't have these. My glasses don't work anymore because my diabetes is so bad. Looks like Cayenne Wolf is streaming too. I don't know who that is, so I'm going to say I'm probably not subscribed. Maybe that's why it didn't come up, because it certainly didn't come up. The streams, for me, it's hard for me to concentrate on more than one thing at a time. I'm not a multitasker. At one point, I used to call myself on my resume a multitasker. And maybe at that point, I was sort of a multitasker. But right now, it's hard for me to concentrate on more than one thing at a time. And it's like, I'm sitting here like, what the heck do I do? My computer's acting up, and, it's like I got to keep an eye on this, and then I look over there, and now I got Heather's up, but I'm not participating. I just said hi, and, I'm not really participating over there, because how am I going to do that? I got to be over here. And it's like I was saying earlier, before a couple of you arrived, that I need to get up the courage to have a co-host on my own. I've done this on my own, and I've co-hosted on other streams, but I'm trying to get up the courage to have a co-host. You would think it'd be a sort of simple thing, like, not that big a deal, but I'm having a problem with it. It is kind of a deal for me. I don't know. Anybody want to sprint? I'm not sure if anybody's here to write or not. I mean, I've got plenty to do, even if I can't get my computer working right. Yeah, I think it would be fun to have co-hosts too, because I think it's fun to be one. But then I also think about the fact of being the host and being responsible, and then I get a little really like not sure I want to do that. I mean, let's face it, when I started my channel, I didn't want to do that either. I mean, I'm like terrified. Got through that. And then when I did the first stream, I said, oh, this is going to be a disaster. Like, nobody's going to chef what. Oh, Laura's fine for another job right now. Okay, well, good luck, Laura. I know. Glad I don't have to job hunt, especially not in this day and age. It's the only good thing about being out on disability. I haven't had to deal with the job world. And now they're so scarce that getting one's got to be difficult. So definitely good luck. The first time I streamed, I'm like, nobody's going to show up. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what to do. And I started talking because I figured I got to start talking. Can't just sit there and stare at the screen. And somebody popped in. I think I had, I don't know, a couple the first time. And I thought, okay, well, it's better to start with just a few so you get a little bit more used to it. If I had 100 some people, I don't know what I would do, honestly. I mean, it'd be nice, you know, but it would be difficult. I mean, my streams are small, but people are obviously viewing them because I have a lot of views each time. I mean, not the amount of views that were during the actual showing, but afterwards, when I look back, I'm finding views, and my stats are going up again. They had dropped super bad when I was out of the hospital. Was in the hospital. So, anybody who's left want to write or whatever? I don't care what. It doesn't matter what you do. Does anybody want to do another stream? When there's that many people on a stream, it gets uncomfortable to keep up with it all. It does, Megan. I've seen some of these people handle it with no problem whatsoever. But for me, I mean, I get a little freaky when I have, like, I think I had 16 people one night. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? There's 16 people here. It's like, what am I supposed to do? You know, and it's like, okay, I made it through the night. It wasn't the end of everything, but, you know, and then, you know, it's just like, I just don't know. I'm torn between wanting a large crowd and not wanting a large crowd. Wanting to co-host and being afraid to be the host. I don't know what to do. Okay. So we did 30 last time. I don't know what you want to do. How long do you want it to be? I mean, I'm fine with 30. I don't like to go less than 15. I really don't like to go less than 20, really. Any suggestions? If not, I guess I'll just set it for 30 again. $20 works. Okay. I'm sorry. If I look like I'm really straining, I am straining at the screen to try to read what you wrote. Okay. 20. Sounds good to me. We can do 20. Let's get that timer. Oh no. Am I supposed to hit that? I can't remember. My mind just went blank again. All right. 20. All right. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Laura came back and said 25 or 20. Well, it's 20 this time. If you're still around, we can do 25 next time. 20 for right now. I didn't realize you were still here. I thought you were looking for a job. Where I would have waited. So it would have been two. You'd have to, one of you would have to give. But we can do 25 the next time if you want to. All right. Let me see. Oh, I'm not on the first sprint anymore. I always forget that. Second sprint. Why isn't it working? Oh, it's the second. All right, it hasn't changed over here yet. All right. Second sprint. Had to do something about these glasses. I don't even know where the one pair I had that I could sort of read with. That was in the hospital. I'm pretty sure I brought it home, but I haven't found it yet. I can't see. I almost managed to unpublish something I published. I'm doing good. I love these. Are you sure you want to do that? Sometimes it's a good thing it says it because no, I don't want to do that. All right, come on. What are we doing here? Does that help? No, it's the wrong one. No, that's right. Hmm. They've changed WordPress that I use for blogging, and still struggling to figure out how to use this thing. London and LA? Wow. Are you planning on moving, or is it a work and home situation? Because I know you're not in London. I don't think you're in LA either. Oh, you would move. All right. Well, that's okay if you're the exploring kind. I thought you were in Canada. Oh, but you are American. Okay. My son decided to take up and just move. He had no job. He had no place to live. He packed all his belongings in his SUV and hit the road. And he went from New Jersey down to North Carolina, where his car promptly broke down. But it was where he was headed, so I mean, that's where he wanted to be, and that's where he got to, and he had to get the car fixed. And he's been there for a long time now. He came up briefly when the virus started, because he wanted to be with family, because things were so crazy, and they were starting closed borders and stuff. I'm in Jersey, so we got hit really bad. And he did come home for a short period of time, and someone had offered him a place to stay. And she said, I can help you out, with food and all, so don't worry about it. He has really good friends. And, well, he stayed until her HOA, her housing, whatever they call them, the housing authority, said, no, he can't live there. So he had to move out, and he says, I might as well go back to North Carolina. He says, I love it down there. So he took off back to North Carolina. Now, I was there for 4 years when we were first married, and I loved it down there too. And I looked into, he asked me, he says, you want to come down here? I'll look for a 2-bedroom apartment. What I get in benefits, I wouldn't be able to get down there. So there was no way to go from the northern state down to the south and get the benefits I'm getting, and it would be hard enough. So Devon's in Canada? Oh. Is it cold? Really? I know it's not cold here. Of course, I'm in Jersey. I'm not in the north of the country, but well, I got a lot done. I pulled up a prompt, because that's what I do mostly on my blogs. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm just sitting here staring at it. I have no idea. So that's another sprint where I didn't do anything. I just can't. There's just nothing coming. Ah, what a day. Tomorrow, I have to go to the doctor's to get my pain pills refilled. I take Percocets, and missed my appointment because I was in the hospital, and I came back, and they're like, well, doctor I see isn't back until December, so we'd have to wait till December. I'm like, I can't wait till December. It's only October now. I need to get my pills refilled. Rain was really cold today. Really? Wow. We got rain tomorrow, and I have to go out, and that's a pain, especially when it's cold. I mean, it's going to be chilly. It's going to be wet. May, June, July, August, and September are nice. The rest of the year is cold. Eh, basically the same around here too, I would say. With every now and then strange day. But tomorrow I have to. It's supposed to be raining, of course, and I use a walker, so that means taking the walker and getting drenched, getting it in the car. So many things they don't want to be doing. However, I need pain pills, so I will figure it out one way or the other. Have to. Don't have a choice. Yeah, I picked a doctor that's there twice a month. Wow. He was recommended to me as a really great doctor. Someone I know, another medical field. She said that he's the only reason she's walking. She's like, I would suggest you go to to him, see if he can help you. So I've had so many injections in my spine and my joints and all that stuff. And at least I'm still walking. I'm not in a wheelchair yet. I haven't gotten that far. But if they take my pain pills away again, I will be. Okay, so I put second sprint, but I'm not sure if that was the second or the third. I'm not really sure. I guess it doesn't matter in the scheme of things, really. I don't like summer. I don't like winter. Fall, eh. I like spring. But it seems like anymore it just jumps from one major season to the other. What's the second one? I don't know. I lost count. For some reason, I thought it was the third one. London. London. She's trying to get away from rain. That's not the place to go, from what I understand. London gets a lot of rain, they say. I can't speak for myself, but I had someone who lived over there, and they said all it does is rain. Anybody get anything done? I know I didn't. I didn't get anything done. I stared at a stupid picture trying to come up with a prompt, and I didn't do it. Excuse the yawning. I'm not sleeping long enough. 24 hours is not enough time for me to sleep. You miss the rain. I don't miss the rain. I hate the rain. It may not be so bad, but it's so difficult for me to get around and then have to truck through the rain with a walker and drag it into your car is no fun. You read a bit, then my boyfriend called to ask about dinner. Oh, there you go. Dinner. Yay. Laura said she got her applications in and a reference for them to call. Okay, good job. My fingers are crossed for you. I hate a job, honey. I stayed at a job until it closed. I got laid off all the time because I couldn't stand looking for jobs. So no matter how bad the job was, I'd stay there till I got, laid off, and then I just collected unemployment most of the time to the very end, and then I got a job at the last minute. Somebody up there was watching out for me. Plus, having a father and mother who are willing to let you come home to live was helpful also. So, oh, you applied for a Disney job? Doing what? I know you do animation. Is that the kind of job you want to do? My office skills have gone out the window. My computer skills have gone out the window. Being a lighting apprentice on their animated films. Well, that's certainly a start. Sounds pretty cool to me. Yeah, my fingers are crossed too. I hope you're able to get it. That would be which Disney, Florida or California? Oh, you said L.A., so you mean California, I guess. I live such a boring life. Oh. So, what are you having for dinner, Megan? Laura, I think it would be a dream come true. I think a lot of people dream about working with Disney. Can hardly imagine. Amazing. I hope you get it. Cheddar broccoli soup. Oh, I don't like. Not big on broccoli. Oh, I am eating it now. I'm not really big on it. Smoked salmon appetizer for dinner. Oh, wow. Well, that sounds good. That sounds great. It's gonna be delicious, but I want some of that cheddar broccoli soup. Well, I don't think you two live close enough to share it, so I don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately. Yeah, couldn't imagine saying to somebody, I work for Disney. I mean, there's so many people in the world that would love to work for Disney. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I really want to work for Disney. If it's I've worked so much with the public, I really don't like the public. So I would want a job that didn't deal with the public. Myself. I'm sure yours wouldn't deal with the public if you're creating animated movies. You certainly aren't going to be working with the public, so probably safe there. I don't think tonight's going to be a long night the way I'm going. Journaling time. Well, I can imagine you got a lot to journal about. Looks like Heather's got at least one more. No, Words Fall is talking about streaming after them. After Heather. Yeah, definitely document these times. These are weird, strange, but wonderful times. Okay, Megan, go feed the dogs. Gotta eat. Heather said she might do one more sprint. Back to listening to instrumental Disney music in the background. I guess that kind of sets the mood, huh? Oh, clean the rabbit cage. Something I hated. My kids wanted a guinea pig. My ex-husband had fish, and he's like, you got to clean the fish cage. I said, fish tank. I said, I'm not putting my hand in that water with those fish. He's like, well, somebody needs to clean it. I said, they're your fish. You clean it. Putting my hand in there. Then we got a guinea pig. I said, no, I'm not cleaning the guinea pig cage. I don't do animals. I have a cat. That's as far as it goes. I'll feed the dog. That's as far as it goes. So then we go to the Bahamas, and we're snorkeling, and the fish down there are huge. And we get into this one section, and took me forever to get to snorkel. I couldn't do it at first, and I was terrified to put my head under. I finally got my face under there, and I see a manta ray or whatever, stingray, and I'm hollering. He goes, I can hear you screaming through the water. I said, well, I don't like to be in here with these big fish, So then we go on this little trip, and it was giant angelfish. Angelfish are pretty, but giant angelfish, and they're trained to be fed. So they give you a bag of, I think it's dog food, and you go down in the water, and then they just swarm looking for the food. I was horrified. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a giant fish tank. Get me out of here. So, no more animals. My last one was a cat, and that was enough for me. So. Well, let's see. We've done the second sprint. Shall we go to a third one? I don't know if anybody's still here sprinting. If they are, give me a time. $20. Okay. There we go. 20 minutes. Start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're moving. Sometimes it stops on me. I'm like, what happened there? All right, so that was 2. Then this must be 3. All right. I live in a senior high rise. We always got ambulances by the packs around here, plus the cops. They always show up with the ambulances. Look out in the middle of the night and there's lights everywhere. Unfortunately, in the senior high rise, people are constantly either leaving by ambulance or by the coroner's vehicle. Constantly have new neighbors. I'm glad your dogs have been fed. I'm looking at another prompt, trying to get inspiration. There is no inspiration. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm not happy with myself. Sometimes I can look at a picture or some words and something will pop into my head immediately. I don't even have to think about it. And other times I could stare at it forever and not a thing will come. Now I'm sitting here looking at a picture of a pink boat in a marina type setting. I need to come up with some kind of story. That has to be 100 words. Very hard to do. I know Laura writes a lot of short stories. I'm not sure how short her stories have been, if they've ever been as small as 100 words or not. I've had some that were 280 characters. 280 characters is not a lot of words. And you got to make a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Interesting. I did that one for months. Every week she put out the picture, and I was able to make a continuing story out of it. That one, and did it for months. And then she just disappeared. I found out she had moved, and she never restarted up the prompt blog. And I'm still trying to decide if I want to do something with that story or not. But it would be more sci-fi. Not sure I'm really a big sci-fi person. Not sure much. I mean, those little bits were easy, weren't so bad to do, but all right, 250 to 1,000K. Yeah, I didn't think you were doing the super small ones. I do a lot of them that are between 50 and 100 words. And another one can be any length you want it to be, and some of them have gotten quite long. And that was the one I was talking about yesterday that I made into that king and queen and the princess story. Not a princess. I mean, there was a princess in there, but princess, like Princes, 2 boys. I'm not sure if you were here, Laura, or not. I don't think so, because I went from Charlie's. I couldn't have been yesterday. I didn't blog yesterday. I didn't stream yesterday, so what am I talking about? I was on Charlie's yesterday. And yours yesterday. No, I don't think I said anything. Piece of Polaroids you printed of your nephew into your journal. That's cute. I've got a ton of pictures on my camera. Probably nothing to ever get done with them. I got it somewhere. I don't know where. I got lost in the move. I had a huge bag of all the pictures of the kids when my kids when they were younger. Have no idea where it is. That's good. I'm glad he's so cute. I have. I think all my nieces are girls. Yeah, because my son was the only boy out of all those girls. So there were 2 girls, 3 girls, and I had 2 girls and a boy. Had the only boy. Now my daughter, one daughter has a boy, the other one has 3 boys. That's the next generation down. And they are past the super cute stage. One is still cute. He was born in December, so he's still a baby. The rest of them are in their teenage years and not quite as cute when they get to that age. I am not getting anything done today. I don't know. I gotta decide. I have one posted for tomorrow at 11, but I'm not sure I'm gonna make it to 11 tomorrow. His dad is from Hong Kong. He has his dad's eyes and hair. Oh gosh, dark, full hair, and my family's squishy nose and mouth. My daughter's nephews, their father is from one of those countries over there, and both the boys look like him, and they've got the dark, thick hair. Both of them. Neither one, I don't think, looks like their mother. Not that I've sat and analyzed them, but just looking at them. And my two, the same daughter, her 2 children, look like their dad. One's a boy, one's a girl. But you look at them and say, yeah, it's definitely Greg. And the other daughter, her 3 boys all look like their fathers. They all have different fathers. And they all look like their fathers. And there's no discounting who the father was. You look at that, at those kids. They all look like their fathers. And my sister has 2 little ones. One of her daughters, one of my nieces on her side, has 2 little boys. There were a lot of boys in that generation, and just my son in the other generation. You go figure. That's what I thought. Dark, thick hair. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Sounds like a lot of fun. My hair is still kind of thick considering my mother was was practically bald, and I'm like, please don't let me. I look like her, and she looked like her dad, and she had no hair, and I'm like, please do not let me end up that way. And I have to have my hair still has to be thinned out, so I'm hoping that I got my dad's hair, which is a lot thicker. It was darker too. You wouldn't know to look at it now. My hair used to be dark brown. I got tired of dyeing it. Can't afford it either. I mean, it's just outrageous. And I tried to do it myself once and poked myself in the eye with the thing and burnt my eye. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this again. Let's see. Heather's still streaming. They're talking right now. I gather Devin's over there because I haven't heard him say anything over here lately. So he must have gone back over there. Though I haven't seen him over here either. Maybe he's just gone. I don't see him over there either. Or he's not saying anything. So it's Heather, Charlie. I don't know who the woman is with them. Blues and purples. Oh my goodness. my daughter. She's 41. She loves to dye her hair red and purplish colors, and I'm like, it suits you. I would never do it, but it kind of suits her. I can't imagine the other one doing it though. The oldest one. I can't imagine her doing it, but the 41-year-old loves to dye her hair red and purple. So I'm never sure with her what color her hair is going to be. Oh, gee, I'm not even paying attention. I forgot we were sprinting. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if any of us was writing. Forgot that was on. Does anybody get any writing of any type done? Like a journal, maybe? Or are you busy with the pictures in the journal? I didn't get anything down. I'm just not in the mood. My son is bald. He shaved his head. He's got dark hair and it's curly like his dad's, and he hates it. So he's like 16, 17 years old, and he started shaving his head. At first I was shocked, and then I thought, wow, actually, no, I think it suits you better. So now when it starts getting a little long, I'm like, you need a haircut. But I love his head shaved bald. It just looks so much better that way. It depends on the person. I mean, bald doesn't work on everybody. There's a lot of poor bald guys who can't do anything about it, but he's got a full head of hair. He just shaves it off. But the dark curls didn't suit him at all. His father was blonde with curls, so he never had long hair because he hated the curls too. And I was, I like the rock and rollers with the long hair. And I married this man who won't keep his hair more than, above, it had to be above his collar because the curls started. And then, well, I see Megan was over there, so they just went off. That looks like Sarah Sutton. She's coming up on 112 minutes. All right, Laura. Have a good night. You're welcome for the sprints. Thank you for showing up. Curls can be a hassle. I mean, my hair's straight, but my daughter, the oldest one, she had straight hair, and we got her perms. And we got her one, she was around 12, and we got her a perm because she wanted curly hair. It never grew out. Finally said to the hairdresser, I said, what happened here? She was straight hair, and you give her a perm, and now it doesn't go away. And he says sometimes every so many years your hair just changes. So ever since then she's had curly hair, and her dad had curly hair, so it's not a total surprise. But when it happened so late in her life, it was a little bit of a surprise because she was going into her teen years when it got it got curly. I don't know how long Sarah Sutton's going for. Yeah, it is funny, but it was a little weird because I kept waiting for it to grow out, and I'm like, mine is growing out. Why is yours still fully curled? And I took him into her and asked him, and he's like, she's just that age, and your hair changes usually every 7 years, he said. And, you know, she finally hit the curls. But my son got them too, and that was from the very beginning of his life, and he absolutely hates it. Like I said, he shaves his head, but he can do that. Most girls don't shave their heads. Kevin's still writing, it looks like. Well, I got a couple people in here. I just don't know who they are. Because Laura's gone to bed. Okay, yeah, your sister did the same thing. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And then mine, I was like in my 40s, and my hair's always been poker straight. And suddenly I had those little ringlets, that you can get the little ringlets. And I'm like, I went and asked him, I said, what's going on? I've had straight hair all my life, and now I've got ringlets. They didn't last long, but they told me the same thing. Your hair changes every 7 years, blah, blah, blah. And I just happened to get, ringlets at that time. So it's been weird. Hi, Meadow. How are you? We just finished one one sprint that wasn't the most productive, unfortunately. I need to spice things up. Oh, that's good. Somebody needs to get some work done. That's what we need, because we need something in here. Well, this is, according to my thing, we did the third sprint, and so we should be going on to 4. So I don't know how long you want to make it. I know if Devin was here, he'd want 125. That was what he told me earlier. Listen, no, we're not doing 125. We're not even doing 75. I'd consider 30. I will do 30. Anywhere from 15 to 30, I'm fine with. So, somebody, suggestions, numbers? How long you want to sprint for? Okay, you like 15 or 20? Do you have an opinion, Megan? Because I really prefer 20 to 15. Twenty is that number, you know. Okay, Megan might have to go. All right, understand that. Well, let's make it 20 then. If I don't see you leave, Megan, have a good night. I'm going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. All righty then. See if I can get something done. I've been sitting here talking. What happened, Meadow? Did I miss something? Or I can't read. No, I can't find my glasses. Oh, for the sprint. I'm sorry. Like I said, I can't find my glasses, and my eyes have gotten so bad from my diabetes. I can't read things very well at all. So I wasn't sure exactly what you said there. And I thought, well, just something happened I missed. Yeah. Oh, it's not the third sprint. Let's get our numbers right. This is the fourth sprint. There we go. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner. That's always a good thing. I'm actually writing something. I looked at that picture long enough, and a little tiny. It's a short one. It's 100 words. I'll write the story and then have to cut it down so it's just 100 words. But I got an idea, so right now I cannot read the screen, but it looks like I'm about 67 words. This is the one I was mentioning with the pink boat. Someone wrote a story about Mary Kay. If those of you know who Mary Kay, the makeup woman, was, they used it to write a story about her. I haven't decided whether to make mine a happy or sad one, because I like to put twists in my little stories. Just when you think it's going one way, it twists the other way. So depending on the mood I'm in, depends on how it ends. And sit here and watch a timer, and it just takes forever to go down. If I wasn't paying attention, it would be going off. And I just realized I didn't have these on, so I hope it wasn't making any squealing noises. I know sometimes if I don't put the headset on, I get squealing. All right, we're almost done this one. Okay, so I did get to 67 words. That's certainly more than I've been doing most of the night. Anybody else get any writing done? I know Megan was eating. Yeah, I thought I got a story I have to think about. I'm kind of itching to write it. I mean, writing is part of it, and then creating a blog post takes other stuff, other skills, other mindsets. It's not just simply writing a story. We got so much to do to create a blog post. Eating smoked salmon, yum. Yeah, I bet it was yum. I kind of actually wouldn't mind having something like that right now. It really sounds good. I haven't been having an appetite problem, but that actually sounds good. Do you have anything written, Meadow? It's weird. I got a new button today. Medical alert button. It's different from my other one, and I'm not quite used to it yet. I've had to use this thing already once, call an ambulance because I couldn't breathe. My kids kept after me to get one. They said, because I live alone, they were not happy. So I agreed to finally get a medical alert button. So at least if something happens, or if I pass out and fall, it's made to catch falls, but it doesn't. So it won't guarantee 100%. So it says if you fall to hit the button anyhow. Yeah, at least I had it. And you know what? It's a lot easier because when you call 911, if you tell them you're having trouble breathing, they will naturally say, well, you're talking. You must be able to breathe. That is what I get every time I've had to call for an ambulance. So this time I said, well, I've got a button. I'm going to use it. And all I had to do was tell them I'm having trouble breathing. And they took over. They called the EMTs. They called my kids. And everything was taken care of. So I'm glad to have it. And there have been times I've passed out and fallen. So hopefully it will work if that happens. Because I fell, passed out, fell, landed on a table and smashed it. That was good. I'm like, why am I in so much pain? It took me a minute or two to figure out where I was, what was going on. And I'm sitting on the floor crying. Luckily, my cell phone was on me. So I'm like, I had to call 911. I'm like, I can't even get up off the floor. I can't get up off the floor anyhow. As it's physically unable to get up off the floor. So if I fall and there's nobody else around, or I have no choice but to call the darn EMTs to get me up off the floor, which my dad had to do for my mom all the time. And I felt so bad for him, and now it's like, geez, I have to do it myself. But I tell you, 911 operators can be nasty. I'm like, it's not your job to decide. I'm telling you, I can't breathe, and I need to go to the hospital. Ah, really? Oh, I've got so many stories I could tell. My kids want me to live in the long-term care center with my father because I live alone and I do things like pass out and fall on furniture and break it, and pass out and fall over things and land on the floor, and that's the kind of things that happen to me. My apartment has call buttons in the bedroom and the bathroom, but if you're not standing right next to them, they're not exactly helpful. Back in January, I woke up. I'm like, I got out of the bed, which is hard because I have trouble walking. So I managed to get to the bathroom. And I'm standing in the doorway, and the button's right next to me. And I'm like, something's wrong. My mind was fuzzy. I couldn't think, didn't know what was going on. And I kept saying, I need to get to that bed. But that bed's moving. Now, obviously, the bed was not moving. My mind was in a really weird place. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I stumble toward the bed, and as I fell onto it, I managed to hit the other call button. Brings the guards when they're here. They're not here business hours, but the rest of the time they're here. Luckily, the guard was still on duty because I totally passed out. I landed on the bed, hit the button. I heard voices. I heard she's, not responding. I didn't know what to do. And they're like talking to me. Like, you're going to have to get up and walk because you're in a position. We can't get you to the stretcher. I'm like, the hell? I'm not even conscious and you're trying to make me walk. And I kept going in and out, and I still didn't at that point know what was wrong. I was rushed to the hospital. I mean, went through the whole ambulance, through the ER, thrown on the stretcher, and, clothes ripped up, and all this is going on, and I'm like coming out bits and pieces. That's all I was, most of it I don't remember. I remember waking up one time, and my daughter was sitting there. She had gotten there. She and her husband were there. She's crying. I'm like, what the hell happened? I don't even know what happened at this point. I couldn't stay conscious. So I kept going back under, and then I would wake with a jerk, and I'd look around for a few minutes, and, a few more things would happen. And then they're like, the guy's going like, ma'am, I have to keep giving you this Narcan. Now, if you don't know what Narcan is, it's what they give you when you're having an overdose. It's not very pleasant stuff. And they kept giving this to me. And he goes, ma'am, I'm sorry, but, one of these shots that I'm giving you may push you into withdrawal. I'm like, what are you talking about? Withdrawal. It's like, because my mind just was not working. It couldn't connect facts at that point. So I crashed out again, and I came to, and a woman was getting ready to stick another shot in the IV, and I said, what are you doing? He's just got done telling you, or telling me, or telling somebody that another shot could put me into withdrawal. And she yells at me to shut the hell up. I'm trying to save your life, and you're worried about withdrawal? She goes, I'll take care of that later on. Just shut up and be quiet. And she shoved that needle in. And I jumped off the stretcher screaming and clutching my chest. I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. I didn't have a heart attack, but it felt like it. And whatever she injected in me, I don't know if I went into withdrawal or not. But my kidneys had shut down. And when my kidneys shut down, the Percocets I take weren't exiting the body. So accidentally, I overdosed. But she said, don't say that, because overdose means you died. And she says, you're not dead, but I'm trying to save your life here. So, talk about a lot of fun. I've had a lot of experience in my life, I'll tell you. I mean, I could probably make a story out of that one. And my blood pressure was so low. She goes, we got to get this blood pressure up. We got to get your kidneys working. My kidneys had failed. I mean, it was that bad. And it's like, and then I hear my daughter say, no, she didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. I'm like, I turned over and looked at her, and she said, Will wanted to know if you did it on purpose. I'm like, are you kidding me? And she's like, no, I know you didn't do it on purpose. It's an accident. They just got done telling us what happened. So, my pain doctor decides no more pain medicine. They're not taking chances, she said. And I'm like dying. And I told her, I said, I got to have something. I can't take this. And she's like, nope, I'm not giving you pain medicine. I said it was a mistake. I didn't do it on purpose. I understand now. I'll make sure to drink liquid and et cetera, et cetera. And she said, nope. So luckily I changed insurance at that point. I got another doctor, and I was honest with him. I told him what happened, and he was fine giving me pain medicine. But I better not do that again. I got to be really careful. So talk about stories. I can tell you a bunch of weird ones. That was a trip and a half. And then they send me home. They said, oh, you might have pneumonia or you might have bronchitis. We're not sure, but we'll just give you an antibiotic and send you home. So they sent me home the next day. And I got home and I went to bed and I woke up and I was shivering. I couldn't stop shaking. My whole body was shaking. Well, by this time, I was sick. And that antibiotic they gave me before I left the hospital didn't matter because it wasn't soon enough. So I was back in the hospital again, only I went to a different one. I hate that first hospital. And I went to another one, and I spent 10 days because I had a bad case of bronchitis with my asthma. And that's what started most of this stuff. And I think at that time that I probably had the virus because that's back when they started actually counting it. I had looked it up, and the CDC said that they started counting it around January 15th. And this was the last 10 days in January. So I think it's a very strong possibility that's what I did have and not just bronchitis because they put me on oxygen. I was on oxygen the whole time. You know, it wasn't just a simple case of bronchitis. Even with asthma, it wasn't a simple case of bronchitis. So it took me 10 days to come out of that one. So you guys want to write? I'm still in the middle of writing something, so I do have something to write if you guys want to write. I mean, I can run my mouth. I don't talk much, really. But you get me started, and sometimes I can't shut up. So, your choice. What do you guys want to do? It's 10:30 here. Okay. You got a time to go with that? I should read too. I've got like 4 books started, and none of them are done. I just keep starting another one. 20 works. Okay. Give me a few seconds here to get it up. And go. I forgot to say. Forgot the countdown, sorry. Go. Okay. See if I can do something with this story. Maybe get it on the blog. Well, finished that one. 100-word story. Almost completely on my, it's posted on my blog, but I still have to enter it into the blog site so that it gets picked up. But it's done. Right? I wrote the story and set it up on the blog. Anybody else get anything done? Megan is reading, I believe. I don't know if anybody else. I know it says there's 3 people here, but it doesn't mean anything. Because I have since learned that you can pop into blogs and just stay there and be counted, but you're not really there. This makes it hard sometimes. Let's see here if I can get this entered on the other blog. I can find the other blog. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, here we go. Your hand is asleep. Well, that sucks. At least you're not writing. It'd be hard to do if your hand's asleep. Noting this up to the site. I can remember how to do this. Oh, I think I made it. I think I made it thing for this, but oh man, that isn't going to help. Not going to help. Oh, Google. I'll enter it with Google, but I am not looking up passwords right now. At least I hope I'm not. Come on. Yeah. It is hard to type with your hand asleep. I can verify that. Come on. Spend all night doing one simple thing. my link. Guess I didn't get my. Thought I did. Oh shoot! It's so tiny I can't see to spell my name. Okay, I got that one done. So that's 3 posts today. 3 blog posts. 1 story I had to write, 100 words. Let's see, it's been 3 hours. Jeez. So it seemed like hardly any time at all. So what are you up to, Megan? Because I think you and I are the only 2 that are actually paying attention to this blog, to this stream. I think everybody else went somewhere else. Yeah, at least I got something written. I want the blog at least to have something on it so it's not totally disaster. Because people just, stop paying attention if you don't blog. It's just like YouTube. If you stop putting out, videos, they stop watching. I lost like 10 or 11 people while I was in the hospital. Now they're back, plus, I think only, what did they say? I think I need 9 more to hit 100 now. So, getting sleepy, but that time isn't for another hour. I know you're behind me. You're on the side of the country, I think. Because it's 11 here. And I think my aide's coming tomorrow early again. We should make up our mind and get a schedule because I'm tired of being, oh, do you think I could come at 3 today? Because, well, I want to do this. And she went from being a very efficient, very trustworthy person. I mean, she's working hard, but the problem is she's supposed to be working for me 4 hours, and she's not here 4 hours. She's working somewhere else, so she's working on my time. So, yeah, 3 hours behind. So it's 8 o'clock where you are. It's 11 o'clock here. And I think my aide wants to come tomorrow early. Unless she absolutely can't, then she'll come after my doctor appointment. How nice of her. I don't know what to do. I mean, the girl's efficient. She started out being super trustworthy. But now, and I can't blame her. I was in the hospital and she needed to work. But I'm going to have to make a choice. Can't be doing this kind of stuff. I mean, fits me in when she can, all of a sudden. And it makes it hard for me to make appointments and stuff that I have to do. Because I don't know whether it's going to be the time she has open to come. And she's supposed to be helping me. getting dressed and all that stuff, washed, dressed, the whole thing. And she shows up whenever. I think I was too easy, and she kind of took advantage, and now it's kind of out of control. So I either have to be a badass, and I'm not a very good badass, and tell her, make a choice. Because the next person, the first three before her were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Then I get her, because I was about to leave the agency. I said, if this is all you can send me, forget it. I don't want them. They're out there playing around. They tell me they're not coming because they don't work those hours. I get 5 hours, 5 days, 4 hours a day. That's what I get. And that's what I'm supposed to have. It's not what I get. And now this one has, gotten herself all these other people. And I don't know what to say, because if I say, if push comes to shove, she's liable to say, well, you go in the hospital too often. But then again, she told me the other day that at least 2 of her people had to go to the hospital while she was there. So you can't guarantee when you're working with people like that they're not going to have to go in the hospital. But she has a kid. That's what makes this whole thing even worse. She has a little boy. He just started school, so he's young. And in the beginning, Daddy worked at home because of the virus. And now Daddy has to work. And Daddy's not home to take care of the kid. So it's like trying to figure out what to do with her kid when he's not in school. They're making things really crazy. Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Another sprint? Rest and relaxation? Read your book? I got something done today. I don't feel so bad. I just wish I felt more excited about my nano project as I was, before all that nonsense with the hospital started. I was so excited, and I was sprinting and was getting all that stuff done, and I'm, like, now I just don't feel it. Well, it's almost here. And it's been a while since I've actually missed a nano. Not that I necessarily, I like the camps because you can set your own. Okay, just chatting. The book will lull you to sleep. Yeah, they can do that. And I like camps, like I said, I like them because you can set your own goals, and you feel like you made it, and but November it's 50,000 words period. It's not, so it's really hard to do because I just don't write that many words. I don't know if if certain people can write long things and certain people can only write short things. I write short stories all the time, but to write even 50,000 words, which isn't a full-length novel, it could be a novella, but it's not a full-length novel. I just can't seem to do it myself. Now there's no interest. That's the hard part. I've increased my medicine today. See how things are in a few days, if it helps or not. I never thought that I would mind so much being alone until it became like necessary. It's like I don't like to go out because I'm afraid of getting sick. Yes, 50K words it is a lot. And 30 days to do it in, it's a lot of words. Now, last year, the only reason I made it last year was I started writing this story and I kept changing the way I wanted to go. I did not delete anything I wrote. I left everything in there. I just kept writing, from that point on. And then when I was finished, I hit the 50,000 words, and then I decided what I didn't want and took it out. I mean, I wasn't sure where I was going with it. So I just kept writing. I mean, I don't ever expect to be a full-time. I call myself, a full-time writer, but I mean, I'm not really planning on being a real writer. I am a writer. I mean, I shouldn't say it that way. I'm not planning on really publishing. I have my reasons for that. And, most of them are financial reasons. And so unless my finances change to the point that I'm suddenly making less than I'm making now, then I may have to try, publishing. But I can't make any more or I lose my state benefits. I can't do it. I need those benefits. So it puts me in a position that I can't get out of right now. I need my benefits. Of course, they might go away, and then I'll be scrambling to try to write a book. I got enough stuff started. I just have to finish something. Oh. I mean, I don't know how many. Oh, God, I got a cramp. I don't know how many stories I have started and have not finished. Like I said, I've been in Nano since 2004. And a lot of those years I never started or I didn't finish. Benefit, yeah. I mean, it's a very little amount of money you can make. Excuse me. I didn't think I could ever live on this little amount of money I make. Because I guess I get Social Security disability. And it's not much. I live in public housing, so my apartment is 30% of my income, which makes it possible to get an apartment. And I get all this help with benefits of my medical. So, and I don't know. I'm 64. I just turned 64, October 11th. So in less than a year, I get a very small pension. But I do get a pension. And I'm terrified that little pension is going to take me over my limit and screw me for my benefits. I'm so afraid. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I have to take the benefit. They're not going to not give me that pension. I don't think people would turn down pension. It's not very much, but it might just well be enough to be a problem. I got hearing aids, and I keep forgetting to put them in. And especially because wearing masks with the hearing aids keeps knocking them out of my ears. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why bother if I got to wear a mask and darn things keep falling out? And they're expensive little buggers. When I went there, they said, you're lucky. So you're Medicaid. I don't know if you're Medicaid in your state or not. But your Medicaid pays for like the best hearing aids out there, and those suckers are expensive. And it's like I'm terrified to lose one of them. Oh my God! Thank you. If I'm talking too much, just tell me to be quiet. Shut up will work too. uh, like I said, when I get talking, I can't shut up. Other times, don't want to talk. I don't want to say a word. I called my daughter this time last night. It was just after 11. And I said, like, God, I got this cramp. I said, I sent her a text and said, "Are you still awake and can you talk?" I knew it was pretty late, but she's she's usually up, but I didn't want to wake the family up. I figured the text would be the quietest way of doing that. And she texted back, "No, I'm awake. I can talk for a little while. I got a headache." And I felt bad, but I had to talk to somebody. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I have to talk to somebody. And your sister is definitely of no use. If she's even in a good mood, she's a nurse. She's disabled, even worse than I am, because besides the regular disability, she has the same disabilities that I have. Besides those, she got injured at work and permanently damaged an arm because the cabinet fell off the wall. So she's got a suit against them pending, but she's still working for them. I'm like, why would you work for someone you're suing? I don't understand that one. She couldn't understand why I couldn't understand. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I don't think I could work for somebody I was suing. And so she's always in a bad mood. She's always hurting. She's got the new baby. She decides at 40 years old to have another baby, and found that it really is too old to be having a baby at 40 years old. Yeah. I had trouble at 30 years old. I told her, but she wanted another child, got a new boyfriend. He didn't have any children. So, great, I got a beautiful grandchild. But she's in agony. She can't leave the baby with the father because he has seizures. Every baby has a different father, and every baby's father is a problem of some kind. She had 4 guys, but one of them she didn't have a baby with, and he was the only one we really liked out of any of them. Can't tell her that though. I mean, obviously, she picked them. I can't. It's none of my business as to who she picks to spend her life with, but it makes her grumpy, and she's the one working, and she's the one in pain, and she doesn't get any help with the babies, and it's just the story of her life. And thank God she said this is the last one. So I hope that this is the last one. I mean, not that, if she had another one, it would be a problem, because it would still be my grandchild. But I hate to see her suffering. I mean, she's my baby, and my baby's suffering. I don't know. You never mentioned kids. I don't know if you have any, but they're always going to be your babies, no matter how old they get. I mean, even when I was, 50-some and living with my dad, I was still his child, his baby, and my mom until she passed. So she's got a rough life, and I couldn't call her. She's a nurse. She's the one I really needed to talk to, but she would have yelled at me if she had to work the next day, because she gets up at 4 or 3 or whatever in the morning to go to work, and this was 11 something. She would have had a fit. She hasn't been feeling well. So she was, or the baby would be awake, and then she'd be in another, upset over that. So I'm like, not calling her, and I told her sister, I said, I'm sorry. I know you keep telling me to call your sister because she's a nurse, but I can't deal with her. Okay, I didn't think you had any kids. Yeah, it can be hard. And even when they grow up, just like I was to my parents, they had to deal with my angst and issues, and I have to deal with my kids' angst and issues, and it never changes. I mean, life continues on, but you're still your kids, They're still your babies. No matter how old they get to be, they're still your babies. And it used to be great. I lived with my dad, and he was a night owl, like me. And so I knew if I woke up and was feeling awful, I had a nightmare or whatever was going on, that I could go out and he'd be out there watching TV and I could talk to him. And now I can't do that because he's in the nursing home. Half the time doesn't even know who I am. So, life continues to go on. And, he had COVID. Thank God he had a very, the asymptomatic people, he was one of those. They didn't know it except they took the tests and they found out he had COVID. So, like, we weren't, obviously allowed to go anywhere near him. And we wouldn't anyhow, because my sister and I are both, very conscious of trying to stay away from people, especially people who won't wear masks. And I have to deal with that here all the time. I live in a senior high-rise, and our apartments are, like, jammed together. And you open up your hall door, and there's your neighbor, and they don't bother having a mask on. And it's like, you have to ride the elevators with them. Bad news. And too many of them here think they're above everything else. And we just found out that where my dad is and where I was, the rehab hospital was in the same building, that they have COVID again. So I'm worried about him because the first employee to come up with the COVID again had it already. This is her second case of COVID. So I'm concerned that, what if he gets it again? It may not be so easy. He was lucky the first time. He may not be so lucky the second time. Well, hello, whoever showed up. If you want to sprint or anything, let me know. Right now, we're just talking. Yeah, so unfortunately, you can get it again. And now the state is coming in, and they're going to test them all. They tested the employees every week, and they're going to go test all the residents again. Because the last time that happened, they found hundreds of people were sick, but they were all asymptomatic. So they didn't know it. They had no idea it was spreading through the facility like that. I mean, I think they learned a little bit this time, but when they come in and they test for a temperature and they don't have one, they're not going to give them a nasal swab every time they come in the door. It's bad enough they do it once a week. I've had 4 so far being in the hospital. 4. And those things, they bring tears to your eyes. They don't tickle your brain. They hurt. So they're going to start testing them soon. So we'll find out whether he's sick yet or not. I know he doesn't want to be alive. He tells us he really misses my mom. She's been gone. She's been gone since 2013. Can't even think what today is, 20. 7 years. 7 years this month. And every day, that's all he can say is, I want to die. I want to be with my wife. I want my wife. I miss my wife. And I feel so bad for him. But there's nothing we can do about it. And we can't take him home because we can't care for him. He has to be there. He had a major stroke. Now he has dementia. Thank you, Megan. It's hard. It's part of the problem I'm going through right now. But I got to deal with it, unfortunately. No one can deal with it for me. I have to deal with it myself. But I just finally told my psychiatrist last night, I says, I can't do this. I need help. So, I don't know what, she's increased my medicine. So that's a start. We'll see after that if it helps, or because I don't want to change medicines. I don't know if you know. I've told so many people, but I don't know if you know. I have bipolar disorder, which is a very difficult disorder to have. I also have psychosis. So I have high anxiety. I have borderline personality disorder. I have too many crap things to deal with. And, all this crap I'm trying to deal with, all these medications don't help me. And sometimes I make my situation worse, and I just have to go on. It's like I've given up twice now. I'm going in the hospital for it, but it ain't going away. It's not going to go away. Really? I didn't know that. I wish you well. I know how difficult it can be. If you ever want to talk, my email is in my description. If you wanna email or whatever, I don't mind. I talk about it. I advocate for it. I try to get people help. So, and I'm very open with my life, as you've probably noticed from listening to me. And what you see is what you get with me. I don't put on airs. I'm not like that. So, yeah. Those medications are terrible. I can't take most of them. And the new stuff that's out, no. None of them. I'm on old medications. They had to go back. She says, I'm going to try something, and went back and got some of the older stuff. They have a lot less of the nonsense that you have to put up with the new stuff. But if you have any questions or anything, or just want to talk, I have no problem whatsoever talking. I like to help people if I can. I don't know if I can help, but if you want to talk about it, I give you my permission to email me. Which, as I said, it's in my description underneath. I have my email address. Either one. Tessa will either be forwarded to me, and then if I reply back, you'll get an email with a different name. Because Tessa's not my actual name. I used my maiden name, Anna. You're welcome. And I mean it. I do mean it. If there's anything that you want to talk about, we just need somebody to listen. And sometimes that's all you need, is somebody to listen. I don't mind. But if you send it to Tessa, you're the one that says Tessa, you're going to get a reply back from Terry. Because my real name is Terry Smay. And that's my husband's last name. So I created a pen name using my, a nickname for Teresa. and which was Tessa, which works out fine. And then I just used my actual maiden name, and it makes a pretty good pen name, I think. It's easy. I wasn't going to do it. I kept saying, no, I don't want a pen name. I want to write under my own name. And I'm thinking about it, and I thought, dummy, that's not your name. That's your ex-husband's name. I couldn't afford to change it when the time came. Thank you. Because it is my real name, technically. And so it does fit me well. Should fit me well. It's just not legally, because I never was able to change it back to Dean. And I figured I had been, Smay so long that changing it would be crazy at this time in my life, and people can't pronounce it, they can't spell it. Oh, drives me nuts. So I said, you know what, I'm going to change it. So one day I sat down, I changed my Google, and I thought it was going to be difficult because they'd already started my YouTube, and now all I had to do was change Google, put in that name, everything changed, and I just started creating from there. So that's who I am online, and I've been Tessa online for 10 years. That was my name on my blog. So it's, something I'm used to. It's not new to me. And of course, Dean was my maiden name. So, and it's so funny because, you meet people and, you meet them as a certain person, and you have no idea whether that's their real name or they're not the real name. And I didn't even think about pen names. Kate Kavanaugh was the first person I met online, and she brought it up, and I'm like, oh, she's not Kate Kavanaugh. I don't know what her name is, but she talked about pen names. And then I know Becca C. Smith said, well, I don't want to change my name because that wouldn't be fair to my family. So I kind of was, saying the same thing about what Becca was saying before my brain said, dummy, that's not your family name. And it's really a hard name to deal with, so get rid of it. So I just have to deal with it legally. Now, next Thursday, I have the sleep study. Hopefully nothing will happen between now and then. So I won't have I'll have one hopefully Tuesday. But I don't think I'm going to have one on Thursday because I should be at the sleep study. So Friday, I've got one scheduled for tomorrow night at 11. But I'm finding it harder to stay awake that long. Yeah, dealing with it legally is a problem. And I do know that's a lot of issues because when you're trying to set your books up and everything, and you're using a name that's not your legal name, but you have to use your legal name, and it gets really complicated from what people tell me, which is another good reason for not publishing anything. Nobody can say anything if I want to publish on my blog as Tessa Dean. My blog. You can use whatever name I want. I mean, the paperwork, obviously, when I got the domain and everything, is under my real name. Thank you. I had to tell them, look, my head is small. I can't wear an adult mask. Please find a child mask. And I called and I spoke to her just the other day, and I said, I made it clear to the doctor, and he was supposed to let you know. And she said, yes, it's in the charts that you're to have a child mask. And I said, well, I hope you guys remember. Because that's why I stopped using that thing, because none of those masks worked. And I got to start with it again. But I'm at a point that I can't stay awake. If I'm not doing something like I am right now, I'd be asleep already. And it's like last night I was on, was it last night? Yeah, Wednesday. I was online with Charlie for quite a while. And that helped keep me awake. Who else was there? Oh, I think Kat showed up, and then at the very end, Nikki showed up. So there weren't many people there last night. Normally he has a full screen. I wanted him to be a guest of mine because he was my first person that I co-hosted for. And we just haven't been able to connect time-wise, and he keeps taking more projects on. And then, while I was in the hospital, he met even more people and took on even more stuff. So, he pops in every now and then, but I have a feeling he's probably not going to be able to co-host, at which point I'm going to have to get up the nerve and ask somebody else to co-host, because I'm really afraid to do it. It was hard enough learning how to do this. So part of me is like really nervous about being in charge and having somebody else on my channel. So I've been on Charlie several times. I was on Jules. I was on Abigail's. I don't know if there's anybody else or not. Well, of course, then I just did the Worldwide Write-a-thon. And I was on with Holly and Lizelle Sambury. And Kate was on there with Lizelle. So I got a chance to actually talk to Kate. And I told her, I said, you are my inspiration. Abigail would love to, and I would if I had the time. That's great. Yeah, okay. It's not great that you have fatigue. Sorry, I didn't see that part first. I was talking about Abigail and the other part. I'm sorry that you have the fatigue, and I understand it, because it can be so debilitating to try and stay awake, like you're driving and you fall asleep sitting there. And I've done it too many times. I'm lucky I'm still alive and not crashed into something. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but you might consider speaking to a doctor about having one done if you're feeling that bad. But this is the fourth one I've done, and I am just so tired, and I can't stay awake. And I'm like, this is really bad. I mean, it was bad before, but I can't stay awake. And I was asleep the whole time in the hospital. They yell and scream and holler at the bedside, and I wake up and I'm like, huh? We'd have some kind of conversation or a needle or whatever it was, and then I would go right back to sleep. And it's like 24 hours. Oh, no insurance. Oh, yeah, that could be a problem. Do you have, like I said, I don't know. We talked briefly about the Medicaid, because I know my son had no insurance and he had Medicaid. Our state has, obviously, Medicaid. And they do have it in North Carolina where he is, but the limits are so low, I couldn't afford. I said, oh, there's no way. I make too much money to do that, so I can't move down there with you. I'm sorry. And but I mean, I don't know what's available where you are, but if they have Medicaid, you might be able to get some help with it. And then, because I know it's hard to be, but I've had times when I've been without insurance too. I know how difficult it is. But I never really qualified for anything, even Medicaid. This is a different program. It's made for people like me with the problems I have. Regular Medicaid, I think I make too much for. But this is a special program. But it's for the elderly and the disabled and people that can't, need help getting dressed and washed and all that. So that their amounts of money that you need to be under are less than regular Medicaid, and the program covers everything pretty much. I have no copays and stuff like that, so that's why I said I don't want to lose any of this by taking a chance and publishing a book. I don't need to mess it up. I'm finally able to take care of myself and still have a little extra money to, because I didn't have TV or nothing. It's like you can't get anything without cable, and so I went a whole year without TV. I said, okay, I think if I scrape hard enough, I can get the special for the first 2 years. It's possible. Like I say, I don't know. The states are all different. You can't go by one state. You have to go by your state and find out what you make. When my son went through the marketplace that Obama put in place, I don't think he has insurance now. I think he's off. Because I asked him, I said, are you still on? Because he was on New Jersey Medicaid, and he still technically considers himself a New Jersey resident. And he bought a new vehicle and everything and had it registered to the state. I said, what are you using for an address? And he's like, well, Grandpa's house, because that's what we lived with my dad. I said, yeah, but his house is being sold. Can't use his address. Oh, she already stopped the mail, delivering everything. It's like, you got to do something else. So I don't know. He got one of those mailboxes, but that was down in North Carolina, and the address and everything. So, I mean, I don't know what he's doing. But for a while there, that he no sooner, because he doesn't get very much. He's usually, sometimes he gets better paying jobs, but most of the time they're, minimum wage. And so, he went right on there and he qualified for Medicaid because he just doesn't make much. He likes to work temp jobs. He likes to be able to just pick up and leave and go wherever he wants, when he wants. So my family does not understand him. I do. My son has bipolar too, very badly, but he's not taking medication, and he doesn't like to deal with it with other people. He'll talk to me. He won't talk to anybody else. And my ex-husband is a jerk, and he told me that I embarrassed him because I had a mental health problem. So when my son was 16, he came to me. I said, I need help, but I can't go to Dad. I said, I will take care of it. And I took care of it. And I did not tell my ex-husband until it was done. And then I said, okay, here's the story. This is where your son is at. You have to be there at this day and time for a meeting so we can get him out of there. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to tell you. You just got done telling me what an embarrassment I am. You think I'm going to let you do that to our child? No, not my child. You're not doing that. You're not doing it. It's bad enough you did it to me. So I did everything. I took care of it. And then when it was done, I said, this is what you have to do. And when he came in, my son flipped out. And I'm like, I could tell when he drove, pulling the driveway, he saw his truck come in. I said, look, I'm sorry, but you need your dad's signature, and your dad is paying for this. So, yeah, unfortunately, your dad has to be here. But I kept him out of it as long as I could. So we had a discussion, and my stupid ex-husband is smart, thinks, oh, I'll tell him that you tell me right now, and I'll never enter your life again. I'll just go away. And I'm like sitting there listening to this conversation. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. And after my well, it was a nice discussion. After my son left the room, I said to him, you did not mean what you just said, did you? And he says, no. I said, it sure sounded to me like you were ready to abandon him. He says, no, but if he doesn't want me in his life, then I don't want to be here where I'm not wanted. And I'm like, no, he needs to know you still care. It was hard. It was hard. I said, but he needs to know you care. So, in a way, what he did worked out good, but it could have been a disaster. It could have been a real disaster. But they'll never have a great relationship because of everything that's gone on. I didn't have the best sex in the world. I mean, my ex told my daughter her son was baggage. I said, that's your grandson. Well, she should have waited. I said, I'd rather her have a baby she was 18 when he was born, 17 when she got pregnant, in high school. I said, I'd rather her have a baby than be in jail doing drugs and prostituting herself. And he's like, abortion. I said, no abortion. He says, you got to get her to have abortion. I said, no, I don't believe in abortion, and I'm not going to even bring it up with her. And he got really mad at me. I said, too bad. He says, all my friends say you have to make or get an abortion. I said, no, that's her baby, and she can make her own decision. See what a great guy I was married to? Men can be so much fun sometimes. There are days I miss not having a husband. It's been 21 years now. I don't have to deal with that crap from him anymore. So, I don't know. I love the day I finally told him, that's it. You do not call me anymore. Our children are all grown up. You have no say in their lives, and you have no say in my life. Go away. I only have to see him when there's a family thing. And half the time he doesn't make those because the girlfriend can't make it or doesn't want to make it or whatever. My kids can't stand her. She was around, and I told them, I said, look, don't blame everything on your dad. It takes two people. It's not all his fault. And it's not all her fault because she broke up our marriage either. I mean, we were just like getting along till they got grown up. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. My son was only 12. We tried. When we finally got divorced and told them, and boy, that's one heck of a day. Talk about a discussion. And then one of them says, what took you so long? And we looked at each other and they're like, We can listen to you guys. We hear you guys yelling and talking and whatever. You know what's going on. Not stupid. What took you so long? Isn't that great for your kids to tell you? That doesn't make it any easier. It still hurt. All right. Well, thank you for listening. That was nice having somebody to talk to, even if I'm doing all the talking. And have a great night. Yes, there's kids of mine. Hey, that's the one good thing that came out of that marriage. I won't regret that. I can never regret that because they're great kids. So I will never regret that part. I mean, it may not have been great, but he's one. You know, the kids are great, and I love them dearly. You're welcome. I'm glad you came. You know, I wish we did a little more writing, but there was just like no. I miss Amy. I don't know if you probably know who I mean, Amy Lee. I miss her because she really kept things, you know, rolling. She hasn't been around, so she hasn't been here to keep things going. All right, well, I'm going to go too because it's almost 4 hours now for me. Devin came on at the last minute the other night. I'm like, Devin, I'm going. Bye. I have to go. But I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to him because it had already hit the end broadcast, you know. He's like, so anyhow, I will see you around, I'm sure. And maybe one of these days you can host for me, co-host with me. Yeah, Amy Lee. She was a handful, but she was lively. She kept things going. Kind of missed the girl. She keeps saying she's coming back, but I don't know. She's found other places to go, I guess. Maybe one day you can come on and guest host with me. And maybe we'll get somebody to come on and join us, or we're going to sit there and talk all night. So have a great night, and see you sometime soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye if anybody else is still here. I don't know if they are or not. So, good night.